What's going on, everybody? It's Rick from Gardening with Barchuckin. Today's Worm Wednesday. This is the Vermihut Plus. Going to do a check-in on it. Last week we rotated this bin, which was the middle inoculating tray, to the top feeding, and took the feeding, moved it to the middle to let it go ahead and continue to break down for another couple weeks before I harvest it. You can basically see all the old bedding with the castings. Here was a bunch of fresh bedding, so that will have to get incorporated into this feeding area. Let's see if there's any food left, which is probably pretty doubtful. Here's even the avocado shell, the pumpkin stem, the avocado pit, and that's kind of getting squishy. There's some worms right up in there. So this is all good stuff to see. And I don't know if you heard it, but a motorcycle just went by. I just see a little bit of some food, not even food scraps. It's like dried up bits of carrot. Here's the other portion of the pumpkin stem. This is like unbelievable. This is from last year. It's pretty soft, so I don't see it sticking around too much longer. And I just did one in my natural bedding bin that had a pumpkin stem. I think that's going to go much faster. At least it has in the past. About 6 months, maybe 8 months at the most. But this one here stuck around for about a year, which totally surprised me. I'm going to pull this out because I don't want to mix that all up. I want to keep that more in the feeding area. This is all fresh bedding, so this has to get incorporated. Another piece of avocado shell. Okay, so I'm pretty happy with getting that incorporated fairly well. This is going to be a fairly large feeding. I have some lettuce that went ahead and expired. I have my butternut squash that some critter took a bite out of when it was in the garden. I have a banana that I'm gonna rip into, and a tomato that started to have something crazy happen to it on the vine, so I just popped it in the freezer, and that's kind of sliced open. Here's the other items for the feeding area so they can continue to break down. To this feeding area, I'm going to add some ground up eggshell. The worms can use this as a grit, and it also helps to buffer the pH of the bin. If it's getting a little too acidic, this helps to kind of neutralize a little bit of the acid. Plus, the calcium's good for the garden, and it's even better if the worms can process it first before it goes into the garden. And if you don't know, by process, I mean eat it and let it go through their digestive tract. So I'm just going to go ahead and cover this up. You can see I'm still down a little bit, but I have to get some more shredding. Bulking up this feeding tray is going to come the next feeding in 2 weeks, because I still have to shred up some cardboard. On top of the feeding area, I'm going to add a little bit of worm chow. That's just another food for the worms. The food in the center starts breaking down with the microbes from the bin. Before that happens, they can actually crawl up top and eat the worm chow, just for a little bit of food to hold them off until the microbes really get breaking down the feeding zone. This just consists of expired oats, flour, cornmeal, and a little bit of pulverized eggshell. And I need to remember with those Keurig cups, having a decent amount of coffee grounds that are pretty much ready to go right now. So I'm going to add some of that to the top too. And I started picking some worms off the lid before I started, and I use this to wipe my hand off. So I'll use that to cover up the feeding area, and I'm pretty much guessing that that's going to be gone by the next check-in. If you guys have any questions, don't forget to drop them down in the comments. Thanks for coming along, checking out this quick feeding. Everybody have a great day.